to start the show with greetings. It's such a fucking nerd way to do it, but I don't know the word.
Come on, man. That's so
Howdy
mean.
or something.
Yeah, howdy's your thing.
But howdy isn't a good, like, it's not like a strong
good.
introduction word, you know.
Let me quickly search up a thesaurus for greetings.
Salutations.
Salutations, yeah.
That's actually more nerdy, I reckon.
Salutations is a third recommendation here. Buenos dias.
What's going on, everyone?
There we go. I think we found it.
Oh, gee.
Buenos dias or good morrow. You know, it's one of those.
Oh my god, Liam.
Howdy
Oh my
has come up
god.
as a strong
Oh my. Liam's horrible.
Oh, no.
That's cool.
No way.
We should leave it like that.
No. Oh, it's good. Oh,
Please tell me.
wow.
Please
That's
tell
like
me
a
that was
momentary
recorded.
thing.
Please tell me that was recorded. That was incredible.
Good morrow, folks. Welcome to the Cinema Effect podcast. My name is Jaden. Sorry. I need to introduce the podcast properly. The Cinema Effect podcast where we review a different movie every week on Monday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm joined by my co-hosts, the prodigal son of Cinema Effect, Liam.
Oh, okay. Hi.
You can do no
that's
wrong,
good.
mate. You can do no wrong.
That's true.
And
I'll take that.
I am also joined by I don't really have anything inventive for you, mate. So I think I'm just gonna stick with Sir Kaz. Or Sir Zach now, is it? Sir Zach, I guess.
Oh, so yeah, whatever you like.
Yeah.
No, he's
howdy.
the boy who lives under the stairs, you know. He's
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I
Is
guess.
that-
Yeah.
Very situational one.
Yeah, when I go to Bali, they usually you walking past the markets
And they say
You've
Harry
had it-
Potter to you.
for real. It happens at least twice when you're there. When I'm there, it's like, well, Harry Potter. That's racist. I don't know if I can do that, but you know, because it's just because I'm a dude, like I'm a white dude with glasses. That's basically it. Oh, Harry Potter. Because I don't know if they really wear glasses over there that much. You know.
If you paid them better, they could probably afford to get more glasses.
That's valid. Yeah.
But you barred them down to the to $0 pretty much.
Absolutely, but it's because we know how much that shit is made for, you know?
Hours of labor.
Yeah. I was going to wear my Perth shirt today.
Despite me?
Just despite you. I was going to say sort of to represent the locale, but it was really despite you. But it's actually, unfortunately, this is not a good ad, but it is unfortunately a little bit chilly at the moment, you know?
Yeah. It's not a great look for Perth.
No,
Dark
it's probably
LED
pretty
lights.
similar to what you guys. Oh yeah, well that too. But it's probably pretty similar to like I don't know. I think it's like 13 right now or something.
It's
you know?
27 degrees here.
Oh my god,
I'm in a t-shirt, mate.
they just swapped. That's stupid. That's bad.
Anyways, this week's film. Sorry, I don't know if we were done there. I don't know how much of the weather chat you want to keep in.
It's fine. You just got to sort of pick a point.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
just going to kind of force you over, don't I?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. This week's film is Twilight Saga Eclipse. This is the third film in the franchise. And the plot reads, as a string of mysterious killings grips Seattle, Bella, whose high school graduation is fast approaching, is forced to choose between her love for vampire Edward and her friendship with werewolf Jacob. The film's directed by David Slade. We've still got Melissa Rosenberg as writer, and we've still got our main stars of Stuart Pattinson and Lautner. You know, Billy Burke is there as well. I feel like we need to give him a shout out in the start because he's always a favorite of ours. Film came out in 2010. I don't know if I said that. Do we still say that? I don't know. How much of a how much of a readout do we do?
Yeah, I give that. Yeah,
Had a $30 million opening night.
huge, dude.
Huge. Back then, fucking yeah.
It was the record setter for opening night. And what's up with this film coming out 9 months after the last one?
That's
pumped the shit out.
Wasn't that the whole thing as to why they couldn't retain the director from
Yeah. Because it's like, dude, I would love to direct your movie, but I'm still making the last one. The hell?
Finny, do you want to start us off on your opening thoughts?
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay. So I had a unique experience in watching this one because I watched it on the aeroplane on the way here. And so you can sort of imagine what it's... I mean, there was some self-consciousness for sure going in that I'm watching Twilight on an airplane surrounded by people. Luckily, the person next to me was kind of an older dude, so I don't really think I don't know, he probably didn't even know what it was. So that was helpful. But then the other bad part was that, like, I was sort of thinking, is the person behind me noticing that I'm watching Twilight and taking notes while watching it, on a flight? That's pretty bad. I don't know. Anyway, that was a unique experience. But I mostly enjoyed this one, actually. It was a big step up from New Moon for me. It was able to be sort of simultaneously more intriguing with some of the story elements it plays with, while maintaining some quality corniness in the right ways, which made it pretty entertaining in my opinion. And I don't know, it felt like in that there was a smidge of self-awareness this time. New Moon just felt like it had no self-awareness. It was confusing. It made no sense. And I was just like, oh god, this is just like, it's all there, but it's just like the worst parts of it all. And now I just feel like it's a bit more cohesive in its actual final, sense of entertainment that it's giving me, I guess. But it's not. I don't know. It's not. You still take it seriously to some extent, I guess. But I don't know. Everything with the love triangle was just more fun this time around for me. It made sense. It was still really silly, but I sort of enjoyed it this time. I was able to a bit more. So yeah, New Moon sucks, but now we're back.
Interesting. William, how did you go with actually watching a film?
Oh, yeah, good one. It's crazy. They're like 2 hours long. It's a weird thing. You like watch it and you sit there, and then it ends, and now I'm talking about it. But yeah. It was. I felt like there was a lot of self awareness. Not just in the story and with the whole, with the the genre stuff, but Jacob and Edward, they felt very rational this time around and very understanding of what the other one provides for Bella. Especially like when they had that kind of bro moment in the second half. So I feel like that was almost. I mean, you mentioned there being some kind of the the characteristic corny moments, but I feel like it was lost a little bit in this one. Like in the sense that I guess it was a bit toned down. So like I feel like we've every film we're losing a bit more of like the kind of identity or the core feeling that we got from the first one.
How did you describe it? The inexplicable?
The inexplicable, moments and stuff. That's just slowly fading out of existence.
That is true. Yeah.
But I feel like the plot for this one was pretty fun. The fucking the newborn army plot. That shit was the usual corny Twilight shit that is enjoyable. So that was good, and the fact that we see Jacob and Edward in their dynamic in full swing, and Edward hasn't fucked off to Italy, so we get them both in the flesh. It's I think this is kind of what people, or what I would have imagined Twilight to be before I'd seen the first one. That's what I thought the first one would have been. More Edward v Jacob shit and just random shit going on in the background. So yeah, it was pretty enjoyable for all that. Yeah. As you said, the inexplicables of it slowly kind of fading away, but I enjoyed it overall. Yeah.
Interesting. I seem to be at a bit of an end to you guys. Where like I don't disagree with like stuff being interesting in the film. I think it is more interesting than New Moon, but I think whether the series has already started to wear its welcome with me, or whether it's just it was a step up in it. But I physically groaned a few times at some of the shit in here, and like the whole imprinting thing fucking disgusted me, man. Like dude, it's just disgusting. I can't. So like shit like that I was groaning at, but then like I do like the newborn army stuff was cool, and I think like getting Jasper's backstory was cool, and like the backstory of the other Cullen person I can't recall. That was cool stuff, and like I think like in moments you kind of see because I really like David Slater's director. Hard Candy is fantastic, and 30 Days of Night is one of my favorite horror films. which is a great vampire product, which is probably why they contacted him for this. So I was expecting a bit more bite to it, I guess. But I guess it is a teen film at the end of the day. So you do probably need to pick and choose where you can put your stamp. I don't know. There was a lot of interesting choices, and I think I don't know. I think had this come in place of New Moon, I might have been more down for it. But I think because I was down for like the dynamics last time, but I think I'm already tiring of them, which is unfortunate because this might have been a pretty good one for me otherwise.
Something tells me that us getting Breaking Dawn split into two isn't going to help, but obviously we'll wait and see.
Yeah, but Breaking Dawn Part 2 is the highest rated one, so I mean, like, it can only go up.
But I feel like, isn't that just the people that made it that far? You know what I mean?
Well, this is I think so. Eclipse is meant to be the best one of like the middle, like of like the middle three. But you guys are both saying that there's definitely you both feel like it's a step up from New Moon.
Yeah, I do.
No, I think I actually enjoyed New Moon more. I do see what you mean. I did experience the same kind of thing, where like I am slowly getting a bit more detached from the series, and I just kind of attributed that to like what I was saying earlier, like the decrease in kind of cringiness and like the loss of some of the stuff from the first one, like the film and the color palette and shit like that. But I think like it is also just starting to wear a little bit, as you experienced.
Okay. Well, let's start with like one of the main sources of that. In I feel like we got a big shift in terms of the whole the whole Jacob v. Edward story in this one. Particularly for me, I was surprised by how much I was swung around to the other side.
Oh no! Come on. No way.
Just want to know where you guys are standing on that at the moment.
Hang on, wait. So you swung around to Jacob?
No, not entirely. I think I still think I prefer Edward, but I think the way that Jacob is framed in this one, it's hard not to support him and like the whole werewolves against the vampires thing, because like when you have vampires as the colonizers and then the werewolves as the local tribes.
Oh,
and
okay.
then when you have the whole thing of like the warmth and like actually providing a decent life for her versus like kind of cold. I think that like that's the main thing. It's like this short intense warmth or this infinite cold, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I can kind of get Jacob. But yeah, so like for me, like I'm not team Jacob now. I'm still Edward, but like at the end of New Moon, I was strongly Edward, but now I'm swinging back to like, I don't know, 60-40-ish.
There's nuance.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But you guys have retained your positions.
No, I agree with that actually. I'm definitely more Jacob than I was last time.
Wow.
Yeah, they framed that argument like pretty well, in my opinion. That was like the main thing in the movie. Like, yeah, that was well done.
Dude, Jacob was a total creep in this movie. What are you guys talking about?
Yes, he was like Jacob is the reason why I'm still not 100% team Jacob, because he is just a bit of a fucking.
So you're more like team werewolf.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
So okay, all right. No, I mean I get what you're saying, but like just the actual relationship itself between Jacob and Bella in this movie was just like just terrible. It was just like first of all, that advance he had on her when they're like in that idyllic lake view or whatever it was. Dude, that was highly inappropriate. Like, what the hell was that? He just like totally went in for the kill there. With like,
it's funny that you have an issue with this, but then in the past there's been way worse stuff that you've been like, oh no, that's fine.
Really? Oh god, probably I don't know, but I was just like, that was cringe when he went in for the kiss, and oh Jesus Christ! Thank God Bella punched the crap out of him. But I feel like he keeps trying to pitch, dude. His pitch in this movie, he just keeps trying to pitch himself as like, first of all, he just keeps saying over and over again that he thinks he knows that Bella has feelings for him. It's like, does she? Because I get that she eventually admits it at the end, but I had no sense of that beforehand. Personally, that was just, I don't know, that was really weird. Like, his argument was that you should pick me because I can tell that I make you nervous, and that means that you have feelings for me. It's like, no, dude, you're just an awkward, intimidating presence. No wonder I'd be nervous around you too. You know what I mean? This
you
is
like
like,
him.
this is some toxic. No. This is getting into toxic territory for me.
You're gonna
I
start
don't
brushing your
know.
hair when you're near him.
Twirling it. Yeah.
I hadn't had any indication that that Bella actually loves him or something. I don't know. It's just, it was weird. And then I guess for me, maybe this is a me thing, but then by the time then we got to the end where she sort of admits it, I was like, what? I thought the whole thing was like, oh, Bella needs to finally reject Jacob. You know what I mean? Because he's obnoxious.
You see, I think New Moon is the case for Bella liking Jacob, and I think Eclipse is kind of then his response.
Okay. Well, his response was terrible.
Because like a lot of the groundwork for why
pushy.
Bella might like him is done in the previous film, and it's because of that time they spent together, and it's about the adrenaline rush and all that shit, you know. And it is about the warmth, you know, and that stuff.
Yeah. No, that all okay. I mean, that all sounds well and good, but I don't know, man. He was just so pushy in this movie.
Yeah, but Zach, this film, thematically, it's about self-control, right? And it flips the original dynamic on its head. And that Edward in this film is the one with the self-control. And you have these newborns, and you have Jacob, who are the ones who are now they're inhabiting Edward's original presence, you know. So it's a thematic thing. You might not have got it,
Right.
but
No, I definitely didn't. I definitely didn't. But hang on. So did you guys actually feel that like Bella is into Jacob?
yeah.
There's that whole like quote. There's that whole coyful kind of like, oh, I can't fully commit, you know.
Really?
It's like, I want to marry you, but you know there is a presence here. You know, it's like this. There is a thing there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think you see, like every time she does hang out with him, I think there's something, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
There's always his pecs out, you know. It's like, fuck.
I feel like this is all Charlie's fault. 'Cause right at the start, when he was like, "Oh, I'll unground you if you go and hang out with Jacob more," it's like, what? Why'd you do that, dude? You're like basically begging for this whole thing, this love triangle thing, to continue. You know, like she'd chosen.
Yeah, but to him, Jacob's just the son of his friend. I think, you know.
Yeah. Jacob's a much more like ordinary crush in like every way, kind of. You know, he's familiar. He's like he's the earth. You know, he's grounded.
Yeah,
he is the earth. And like, you know, I mean, Edward's obviously in stark comparison to that, where it's like, you know, the infinite. He's like infinite love, you know, infinite like time. So I get that it's like not as obvious, but he's just more of like a normal crush.
Boy next door.
I think. Yeah, boy next door.
Right.
Boy on the next reservoir or whatever.
Reservation.
Yeah.
Reservoir. Yeah. He's like okay. He's like that guy where like you've known him forever since you were like 6 years old, and then like you realize he's pretty fit. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to not realize with Jacob because he's got his shirt off all the time. Which one of those moments of self-awareness was surely when they called that out in this movie. That was good. When that dude was like, well, who was it? Someone was like, oh, don't you own a shirt? I was like, oh, yeah, there we go. There it is.
Did you see that thing about, because I saw that you read the trivia, but like David Slade said he would never direct a Twilight film, and then like a couple of months later he was like announced with this. I feel like a lot of that self-awareness would come from him, you know, and that kind of joking. Like he said it was a joke, but I think it was serious. But then they offered him a fuck ton of money, probably.
Yeah.
So I think that's the self-awareness side surely comes from him, right?
Yeah, probably. Or I guess
to an extent.
The only other thought I would have, I would think it'd be maybe a combination of him and maybe it was Catherine who was running the scripts, right? I think we said
Rosenberg.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like by the time that she got to sitting down and penning this one third time around, and she'd sort of seen she'd seen like the impact on pop culture her first attempts had, and you know she had a bit of feedback from that. I wouldn't be surprised if she sort of wanted to inject some of that in there as well. once she'd sort of seen more of a response to it, I'd imagine.
Hmm.
But other than that, yeah, pretty much.
I think with the relationship, I think it is good that we finally got a chance for Jacob and Edward to finally actually talk it out. Did you feel like there was any stance change there?
I liked the scene for what it did and for the fact they did talk it out. I didn't really think it made much sense. It didn't really click with me. Like I don't. When Edward claims that, they do that thing where they're chatting it out, and then he's like, Jacob, if we weren't natural enemies, I feel like I like you, and I'm like, would you? I don't know. I don't know. What would you like about this guy? Maybe this film. It sounds like this film's just turned me very negative against Jacob in a way that it hasn't for you guys. I don't know. But
Because he started with the European colonizers.
Oh, no doubt. But yeah, I don't know. He was just kind of a prick in this movie. I sort of felt like, and then literally Jacob's just like, yeah, I don't know if I could say the same. And I'm like, yeah, well, there you go.
But that's because he runs hot because he's a werewolf and he's a fucking alpha.
He's an alpha. Yeah.
He's a beta, actually. Jane. See,
he's a soy boy
gave
beta.
up the alpha.
Yeah.
He gave up the alpha position.
Yeah, exactly. A real alpha. So he's a sigma then because he gave up the alpha position because he's on his own.
Mm.
Is Jacob's argument though, when he's I can't remember, he makes like a few pitches in I think he literally makes 3 pitches in this movie for why Bella should choose him, and the fact he's pitching this hard means he should probably give up. But doesn't at one point he make the argument? I can't. Maybe it was to Edward. I don't know, but didn't he say like, "Oh, you didn't stay away long enough for her to get over you," basically? Or if you'd stayed away longer, then she would have eventually forgotten about you and then fallen in love with me. I'm like, dude, we watched New Moon. We saw that montage where she like sat there for literally months in her bedroom. Remember that shit?
Yeah, and then she finally got over it.
No, she didn't. She had those terrible nightmares where she screamed. It was horrible.
Yeah, but then she got over it when she started hanging out with Jacob.
Did she though?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really recall
kind
that.
of.
I didn't really buy it as like
Jacob was a remedy to Edward,
Yeah, but then he had his own drama, right? Like
yeah, that's because he was wolfing out.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
It's wolf now, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced of that. Let me put it that way. I feel like if it had been 2 years and then Edward came back on the scene, I feel like she'd be eventually back with Edward again.
Yeah, I still don't disagree with that. I think her insistence for turning is probably evidence for that.
Yeah,
it's probably the other interesting discussion of the film. Definitely. That she constantly gets warned against, and she gets very explicitly warned against it by Rosalie. Is it Rosalie the other one?
Yeah. Rosalie.
She basically tells her this tragic story of getting turned in the worst way possible, and then Bella's like, "Yeah, but I'm different." So I feel like that's not the response to that story, man. It's fucking.
Yeah. I really hope that when she does turn, that there are.
Do you still think she's going to turn? I don't think she's going to turn, man.
No, she's going to turn. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I think so.
I think she will. I think she has to at this point. I hope there's consequences for it, though. Like because it is her insistence on it. You're right that it is one of the more interesting aspects of the film and of the whole overarching story at this point of like, will she or won't she? Her steadfastness on it versus everyone around her and a lot of factors around her telling her not to. And I feel like her total commitment to the idea of it is a little bit odd at this point. I feel like she should have a bit more doubt. Well, I think a lot of good arguments to not.
I think it is sprinkled throughout, but it's just not. It's not hung on enough because you do see her take issue with the fact that she's never going to see, her dad and her mum again, and they don't hang on it for long enough. So every time that a good point is brought up and she does start thinking about it, they kind of just move on.
Yes. Yeah, they do. So yeah, I don't. So, but I guess what I'm saying is that I agree, but I hope that as a result of that, I hope it's not poor storytelling and instead it sort of turns into like this is probably, to anyone who's in the whole series, this is probably silly because they're like, you're overthinking this, but like, I hope it turns into no, she stays way too committed to the idea, but then there's consequences as a result of that. You know what I mean? Where like she underestimates it. Like she's kind of like, oh no, I want to do it because Edward's great and I want to be with you forever. And then she doesn't. She's like, oh fuck, maybe I should have reconsidered that. You
She
know, and
underestimates how long forever is. You mean? Oh,
yeah, that and just everything else that comes with it, like not seeing her family. The Rosalie makes the pitch on like, dude, you don't want to be lusting for blood like this. It's not pleasant. All of that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying like the outcome might still be that she comes around to it and then she ends up being happy with the decision. Like that's fine. I'm not saying she has to, in the end, dislike the decision. But I wanted to sort of go through a bit of like, oh shit, have I made the right decision here? This is challenging kind of thing.
Given that she's impervious to vampire powers, if she turns, isn't she going to be like some kind of vampire queen?
Oh yeah. Yeah, does she immediately become like a Volturi higher up?
Because that's why Arrow wanted her, right, to turn. Wait, did he want her to turn? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because he was interested in the idea. Because he's like, yeah, I want you.
Yeah. That was the whole thing in this movie, is that they were trying to hide from the fact that from the Volturi that she hadn't turned yet. I can't like, why would you? This is probably a new main detail that I just can't remember. But like why would you trust the Cullens to turn her in a timely manner?
Oh, because that was the condition of letting them go.
Oh, okay. Okay, but like, wouldn't they just turn her like then and there?
Probably not without Edward dying, and then he wants Edward too.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right, that's fair.
Speaking about, oh sorry, no, sorry.
I was just gonna say like Zach's whole, well, like I felt like the doubts that are implanted in this film with Jacob's presence and with Rosalie and seeing her mum and dad and moments with her dad and shit. I mean that's kind of, I feel like that'll be the big thing in the next film. So I don't begrudge this film for like not delving fully into the whole doubts, aspect of it, because it's more of just like Jacob versus Edward shit at this point. So I feel like there's enough kind of like, foreshadowing of that conversation for Breaking Dawn, I guess. Of course, like Bella's character it is still kind of weird how steadfast she is, but I'm hoping that'll evolve next time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There were some the other, I guess, main element to it that we sort of didn't mention was like that story by the fire. Yeah, I don't know. Did you read in the trivia that Kristen Stewart was meant to play the what was it, the wife or whatever?
The third
wife. Yeah. Who does the stabbing of herself.
Yeah. Which I'm happy they didn't do, because like it would be too obvious with the end. Whereas this way it remains as like a kind of, somewhat, somewhat interesting parallel rather than it being so obvious.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really expect her to. It made perfect sense. Obviously, I didn't really expect her to end up doing it herself, which I probably should have. But no, that would have just been way too obvious.
It's interesting that they position Edward as a werewolf in the allegory at the end, though.
How so?
Well, because in the story, the werewolf is getting fucked by the vampire, so that's why she cuts herself, and then at the end, Edward's the one that's getting beat by the vampire. So like, there's a bit of werewolf in Edward.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, what does that mean? Is Edward going to turn into a werewolf?
That'd be the most interesting stuff that they can do, probably.
Yeah, they should start playing with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Just on my point before, when I was gonna start leaping off, was with the dying thing, with the effects of the killing, where they like kind of shudder. Is that a thing we've seen before? Because I thought the whole thing was that they don't really die, but then like in this one, like they're getting their heads ripped off, and they're like glass and crystal and shit.
Yeah. I wrote in my notes they smash like plates.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's a new thing for sure.
Is that a newborn thing? Oh wait, no, because doesn't
Victoria have
Victoria
by that too.
Yeah, I think it's just a new visual effect choice for when they wanted to have the
vampire
battles. You know, yeah,
Mm.
I think given that the pre-established thing is that they don't die unless you kind of like proper like kill them and then burn them. The fact that they're just dying now, they're getting their heads ripped off. I mean, that should be a pretty surefire way of dying. To be fair, but like, I know.
yeah. I get. Do you think that's what it was? Like they wanted a way to convey visually that this was a definitive killing right here. You know, these vampires are done. Once
Yeah,
this match.
because like I guess like yeah, I know it's a good way to show that they can't grow limbs back, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but they're immortal, all powerful otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of. I thought it was noteworthy because I wrote it down, but I didn't really. I'm indifferent to it. I thought it was fine. Didn't think it was the coolest thing I've ever seen, but Bryce Dallas Howard as what's her face, Victoria, right?
Mm,
That was a recast, I think.
mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that was interesting. I it took me probably like halfway through the movie to realize that was her name. Like I still didn't realize there was a recast for a bit.
Yeah, I think she looks younger in this than she does in anything else I've seen her in. To be honest, like she looks younger in this than she does
Yeah.
in The Village.
Right.
Because to
Okay.
me, she always looks the same, but then like seeing her with like long hair and like even paler skin, I was like, oh shit! I was like, you
Yeah.
look different for once.
Yeah. Yeah. She looked pretty young in Spider-Man 3, I guess. That's the only other thing I can really think of from around that time.
Even as that, I'm like, I can instantly recognize her as who she is. But
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Oh yeah.
in this, like, it's hard to like. It was hard for me to like be like instantly be like, oh yeah, it's Betty Edge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Mm. I did have a point, but it slipped my mind.
If it did, can you explain imprinting to me and your passion towards it?
Oh, it's just such a disgusting like term of like it's just I don't know, man. I don't really want to get into it.
I don't think I fully understood it. So they have.
It's just a thing I associate with like kind of furry subculture and like
Oh, okay.
zoophilic tendencies, and I just don't like.
Zoophilic. Okay.
Which if there's any like I know furries are gonna take issue with this because they're gonna argue that they're not zoophiles, which is fine. I understand that, but that is that is the link in my mind with imprinting, and then it's like
Right.
I just can't, man.
Do you
Liam,
think
if
any
you want to
furries
defend
watch
them,
the show?
you know,
Oh yeah, please, Liam. Yeah, sorry.
Oh shit. No. Well, maybe, but it comes from this though. So did they like take it from this and then apply it to their own kind of like law shit?
Well, did it come from Twilight specifically, or is it just werewolf lore in general, like alpha, beta, the dynamic stuff in general? I can't with the whole alpha beta dynamic shit, and like the link with the furries and then like how they use it. I just can't, man. I'm sorry,
No, I respect that because if you were
I'm
to commit to
trying,
it,
but like I just can't, man.
no, if you were to commit to it, it would sound quite conspiratorial and a bit. Yeah, I get you.
I've lost my point even further, mate.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to help you, but I didn't really help. I didn't really help at all. Oh my god. Was the most repeated line in the movie, "What can I do?"
It is said a fair few times by everyone.
Anyone else notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think it was like overly convoluted that they have to carry Bella to this place, but then like Edward ends up at the same place anyway, and then Jacob has to go back to the battle after taking her to the camp after spending the night, and then Edward, it's like, it just felt all a bit too much of like, oh, we'll take it to a safe place, but it's like,
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's akin to like when you're trying to plan, maybe you're on holiday somewhere and you got to like drive somewhere, and then you think, oh, hang on, but then I'm going to drop you off at the supermarket because you're going to get something, and then maybe I'll come back and pick you up later, but then I'm going to get my own food on the way. Like, you know what I mean? You're trying to plan all this shit out, and it becomes a bit convoluted like that. I'm probably the only one that can relate to that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's not really how I feel, but
I feel when you're trying to plan stuff sometimes, you're like, it just sort of ends up that way, right? It's like, oh shit, I guess I kind of would be dropped there twice for this to work.
Sure. I feel like I'm more playing like Age of Empires, and I'm like trying to think of how I'm gonna beat this guy, and come up with this the NPC rather than not a guy, because I didn't play against guys. and then I come up with this dumbass plan that my 8-year-old brain was doing, and then he just comes and kills me anyway.
Yeah, okay. No,
That
I
kind
can
of
relate to
planning
that
is
as
how
well.
it felt, because it felt
Yeah,
more tactical, kind of
yeah.
war
No, I get
games.
that. Oh, I think you mentioned earlier. Do you want to talk about these what I would call them like backstory vignettes for these two other Cullen characters? Because I thought they were neat.
Okay, did Jake? No. Was it? Did Jasper? Did he have a southern accent in the first two? I swear, like, I don't know if he had the accent, but like his demeanor in this one, I feel like it totally changed. Where now he's impersonating this, his old being, this
Yeah,
like civil, like officer in the Civil War or whatever. I, I don't remember him being like that. I just remember him being kind of like a young, Twinkie kind of like vampire. I don't remember him having like a southern accent.
no,
I
you're
think
right.
I think what it was is that because he was like the most recently turned to a Cullen, right? So he was still struggling with the whole no blood thing. So I think
Yeah.
that's why his personality was like a bit more reserved, especially around like Bella, which is when we see him. And I think that's why we don't really get this tendency of like the general or like this kind of more outish personality that we get, because like he was
Mm.
still like trying to contain himself, but now he's like comfortable with Bella and other people and shit like that. So I think it might be coming
Okay.
back towards that. But I was reading that Rathborn, I think his name is Rathborn, Jackson Rathborn or something like that. He is like Texan, and like he was fighting hard for like his character to be like Southern and like Texan and like wears cowboy boots and shit. So like
Yeah.
it might not have been entirely present there, and like this might be where he was finally able to like let go, and like actually go do it. But like that was always the way that Rathborn wanted to play him.
Okay.
I should check
Yeah.
that's his name before I keep on using it.
Because I swear, like,
No. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
after he
Oh,
like
Rathbone.
Rathbone. Okay. After we got his vignette, it was like it was like he fully embodied it after that. But before it was either like there a little bit or just not there at all. But yeah, it's fine.
I figured it was just because like the actor wasn't told yet about in the other ones that he didn't know that he had this backstory.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is true. I just thought these were cool, man. I thought they were like probably the most interesting thing the movie did. That was sort of stood out and was unique. I appreciated getting to know the Cullens a bit more. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more of these in the future because we still haven't touched on all of them. But I don't know. I just thought getting sort of these vignettes where the film sort of turns into a period piece for a minute is fun. And I liked how they sort of both dabbled in different periods. Like you had Rosalie's there in like what looks like the 20s to me, or something similar to that, with the cars around and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a pleasant surprise, I guess. I sort of very much just expected her to start spouting exposition about her past or whatever, and I was going to be like, oh yeah. But they went all the way with it, which I liked.
I'm still trying so hard to reclaim that thought that I can't even think of anything
Oh
else.
yeah, man, that's the worst. I know.
Yeah, I don't know. You two kind of go on chatting, and I'm just going to sit here and like,
Oh, okay.
mind palace it.
Yeah.
Walk
Men
through some
really are
corridors.
the absolute worst in this movie, though, right?
Men.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about. I mean, it sort of sparked from Rosalie's backstory.
Oh, sorry. Speaking about men, did you see that she didn't call him Charlie? She called him Dad.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Bella did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit returned to normal. Thank God. Yeah.
But then Alice called him Charlie, and then you had another like moment of self-awareness where she was like, "Oh, you're on a first name basis now." It was like she was acknowledging what we said last time.
Yeah. That was so weird. And what that's a textbook thing of like, oh yeah, they definitely changed screenwriters, but they didn't. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you're talking about Ben there.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, they were just really rude to Rosalie in the background story. In the 20s. Then they insinuated that
it's cute that you call that rude, but then you have this full like kind of repulsion to Jacob's advance later, where it's like kind of this like spur of the moment kiss, but then like these guys rape Rosalie, and you're like, oh, they're a bit rude.
No, man. No, I'm not defending. No.
You're not defending him, but like that's what I mean by
Oh,
like,
you
kind
mean
of
like
just,
the scale isn't
yeah,
right?
you're calling this
Maybe.
repulsive, but you know these are rapists that we're kind of explicitly showing. You're like, oh, they're a bit rude.
Yeah.
Okay, well, forgive my choice of words, but they all suck. Is my point? They all suck. Jacob sucked. These dudes around Rosalie sucked. Jasper's like the only like decent man in the movie, you know. He's alright.
The Cullen dad continues to be a great bloke.
Oh no, he's a banger. Yeah.
Carlisle. Yeah.
Carlisle.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like I haven't actually in these past reviews like shouted him out enough. The actor who plays him, I'm trying to get his name. Oh god, where is it? Carlisle. Oh yeah, Peter Facinelli.
Facinelli.
Facinelli, that's how you'd say it? Yeah.
Sure.
He's great. He's just a great presence in the film. And he has been in all of them. So like I hope that continues. Shout out to him. I know, he sort of just grounds the film in a good way. I like it.
Who these new wolves they introduced, the Clear Waters. I don't remember the dad dying in the last one.
Yeah, he was sort of like the old fart, wasn't he?
Was he?
I think so.
So he died of like natural causes, or did he die? Oh no! He died in the woods. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Correct. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, he was sort of an older dude, I think.
Yeah. Because I was trying to think. I was like, yeah, okay, these are the kids, sure. But I was like, who the fuck was the dad that you're talking about? I was like, yeah.
Another noteworthy thing to me at the start. So what's up with the Cullens like hanging out with Bella's friends right at the start of the movie? Like, did I miss something?
Oh yeah. That didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah.
No, they're just finally interacting, you know.
But like, I feel like
building bridges.
That's great.
Connecting the world.
That's great. I would have loved. I'm not even joking. I would have loved like a subplot, like in the last movie or something to like just sort of get us there, you know? Because they started. They sat down at the table at the start of this movie, and I'm like, oh, I like this end result, but like, what? I don't know. There was like no. That was so unearned. That was so weird. And like, I understand it's a minor thing. Like, it was literally like 1 minute scene. But I don't know. I thought it was cool they were all hanging out. I sort of wanted to see how that came about.
And they had a party with everyone from school at the end.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And they were like, "Oh, cool."
Come into the community, you know.
And that's the whole thing at the start. It was like, "Oh, the Cullens, you know, oh, no, we don't talk to the Cullens. They stick to themselves." You know, it's like,
probably
I want to see that.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say like, well, the Cullens don't have to hide anymore because they're like graduating. So like, all of the graduating class is like going away, so they can reveal themselves a bit more because
right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it might also be for Bella's sake as well a bit. In that, like, well, you know, you're never going to see these friends again, so you know we can spend time with them, so you get to see them as well.
That's fair.
I did kind of miss the friends' presence though in this film. Like they weren't really there that much, and like I guess next film they won't really be there a little bit
at the wedding.
Yeah, you're right though. I think Anna Kendrick's screen time is going down for sure. I don't see it going back up.
The only one you care about?
I feel like she sort of just represents everyone, you know. She's like the notable name in the group, so I'm just kind of call her out. Yeah.
How did you feel about the training sequence in this one, kind of taking the place of like baseball in the first one, and then I'm sure there was an equivalent in the second one, and then I'm sure we'll have another training sequence in the next one.
Probably. Yeah, I liked it. I did. I mean, nothing beats. I don't think and expect anything to beat baseball, but it was solid. It was mainly more so like the coming together of the werewolves and the vampires. Like I agree that part is actually kind of like I was probably more satisfied than I should have been by that, to be honest with you. Like it's not akin to it being done better in other movies and stuff. And I was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is neat seeing them work together. You know, I like that. I mean, I'm fine with the werewolves. I think they're cool. I'm just an anti sort of Jacob guy at this point. But
were you?
That was cool.
Wait, are you on Jacob's side? I thought you were Team Jacob.
I made an argument for Team Jacob at the end of New Moon, just for all like the convenient life factors involved with, you know, being with him instead of Edward.
Well, they harp on that quite a bit in this one, so I thought you'd like it.
Yeah, but no, he was just such a dick in this one, in my opinion.
Oh, my camera's going. Oh shit. This is what happens when you start wishing for source material. It just like comes into the universe, presents itself to you.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one's gonna if we can wait this one out.
Well, I mean, I feel like continuing to talk about the movie at this point is kind of.
It's cursed.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, actually,
did you pick up
Yeah.
on the fact that the eclipse is that Jacob is eclipsing Edward? Because Jacob, Edward eclipses Jacob because Edward's the moon, blocking Jacob's warmth.
Oh, really? Is that what it is?
Well, that's how I read it, and then I saw someone else read it the same way, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm right.
Oh, well, I feel like that's inherently quite a pro Jacob thing.
I think this film is pro Jacob.
Oh man, okay,
Hmm.
okay. Maybe you know what? Maybe it's just Taylor. Not like no disrespect, but maybe it's just his performance was just like, just sort of repulsive energy to me. I don't know.
Repulsive,
yeah.
but not
Yeah.
the rapists aren't repulsive. The rapists are a bit rude.
Yeah, you know they didn't really go about things in the right way. I know the only other point I had was about the Volturi and the actual plot of the movie in terms of like what they were trying to do. So it was them the whole time, right? Just to be clear.
I think were they allowing it, or did they actually tell Victoria to do it? I just couldn't tell about that at the end of the day.
Well, I thought I think Victoria's been self-motivated the whole time, hasn't she?
Right. So they were just allowing it.
Yeah. I think so. It was kind of unclear, I think. Yeah. So, but like, I guess my main thing is, the film earlier on sort of establishes it as a bit of a mystery of like, who's behind this? Could it be the Volturi? Could it be Victoria acting alone? You know, all this kind of thing. And I feel like it. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it kind of does. I mean, obviously we get, you know, the newborn army, we get all that explained, and that's cool. But in terms of like the actual grander plan, it's kind of, I feel like at the end it was trying to sort of build towards a larger conflict with the Volturi. But I don't really, well, that's the impression that the scene was meant to leave you with, I think. But then it didn't really, I don't know, maybe I'm just missing, I don't really understand like what's this conflict going to be? Like what's their beef right now?
I feel like Dakota Fanning's character is like, she's kind of trying to make it feels like she's just trying to make moves, like make some kind of ploy for power or something. You know,
Right.
And Aros's back and everything. But the movie didn't make that fully clear, I don't think.
No, she's working there because she knows that Alice was watching Arrow's decisions, whereas Alice wasn't watching DK's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Fanning was trying to like go behind Arrow's back. I think she was
part of the strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But what decisions was she making that like Alice couldn't see Aros make?
Well, she wasn't really making decisions as a thing. That's what she was allowing things to happen. So that's why she couldn't see it.
Yeah, but I feel like she mentions like decisions specifically, and they talk about how Alice, what she sees is mainly people making choices. So like maybe in allowing it to happen, it was like a choice or something.
Yeah,
it's a bit nebulous in their wording. I feel like they can sort of, it's a bit of wriggle room. They can sort of make it whatever they want in terms of what Alice's powers can or can't do. But yeah, I don't. I guess I would like a bit more of a clear understanding of like what this conflict is, what the motivations are heading into the last one.
The Volturi want Edward, Bella, and Alice. That's why they want the Cullens to die, so that they can then like easier like get them.
Oh yeah, like okay. I mean that's kind of a weird idea, I guess, but sure.
And I honestly don't. I know of kind of the big thing with Breaking Dawn, so I don't really want to speak on it too much. But I don't think the Volturi are going to be too involved in the later ones, to be honest.
Okay.
They might be, but from what I remember watching in a Watch Mojo video from fucking 10 years ago, they aren't.
Yeah, okay. I'll be curious how that all plays out. Yeah.
Did the Cullens fully let that that girl die at the end. Like
Yeah, dude, that upset me.
Yeah.
yeah, that upset me too. I was like, you can't let this happen. That's crazy. Like
Yeah.
maybe the Volturi are just
Yeah.
that powerful. That, I don't know. They
I think that's
can't-
what it was. Like they made the case, but then they were like, if we interfere in this, like this is going to cause more trouble. Like we can't really. We can't justify interfering with them right now.
Mm.
Mm.
I guess it would be kind of
But
like
like, if
the
they
CIA
if they
coming in and doing
did,
something.
yeah. But if they did start like fighting those four on the spot, it would be like it would also lead into a bigger conflict with them and the Volturi in the next film. You know, it would
Which,
be kind
we
of
kind of want to see.
logical. Yeah, it'd be kind of logical like next step.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's actually a good point. That would be a cool like cliffhanger sort of ending. It was like, oh,
Mm.
now we're all in on this. Now, oh, we're screwed now.
Yeah, and you got a 2-part,
We have to fight
double
this fight.
feature
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah,
Except I don't think that's probably not what it's about at all. They probably got like some like
Should we
extended
do
honeymoon.
Breaking Dawn as a two-parter, as like all in one?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you can make the case for it. I don't know. I feel like that would be very against everything we've done before. But
Mm.
Wrapping up. Happy? Cool.
I'm happy.
Liam, what is your final verdict for Twilight Saga Eclipse?
Oh, what did I give him? Did I give him a 5? That means I can't give this a 6, but I want to
I
give.
think
it a
you
6.
gave New Moon a 6, right?
Did I? I don't know. Regardless, I'll give this a 6. I think it was despite slowly losing the identity of the first film, it was still a fun time. Probably one of the better plots, I guess. And some cool lore that's been sprinkled in, which kind of every film has done, but it feels like we're going all in on the lore now. We got more wolf lore, we got more Cullen lore and shit, so that was good. And the Jacob shit was great. So yeah, 6 out of 10.
I'll also slap a 6 on it. I agree with everything Fitzy said, except the Jacob shit was not great. He was revolting. But yeah, 6.
I'll chuck a 6 on it as well. It's wearing thin, but I think it is a better product than what New Moon is. So I think it kind of all balances its way out.
I agree.
Have you heard of this thing called Zencaster? Feel a sense of Zen. No. I'm doing that shit.
Come on, you started it. Remember when I started it? Remember when I started it last time?
Piss, though.
And then you were like, "No, you actually do it," and then I actually did it because you said.
Yeah, because you're a pussy that caves to peer pressure. I don't.
No, I didn't cave. I was always going to do it.
You were you? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
This week in news, we have a trailer for a beloved video game that's been adapted into a film. Have we all watched this trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
I watched it.
Who wants to start with the displeasure first?
I'll let Fitzy go first.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It looks very it looks bad. I guess I don't know. It looks not great.
No, it doesn't look bad because we don't want to get not invited to the premiere. It looks not for you.
Not for me. But it looks promising for other viewers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's clearly a kids' movie, so it's not for me. But I'll still take the Mojang invite for sure. Dude, I didn't hate this. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hate it. I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, all right. And then I scrolled through the comments and I'm like, oh, everyone hates this. I didn't really expect that. I don't know. What did everyone expect? Like seriously, like this shit was gonna be weird and whack from the start, right? Like Jason Momoa in a live action Minecraft movie. Like since we learned about that like 2 or 3 years ago, or whatever it was like what? And then it sort of ended up being exactly kind of as weird as I thought. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, there it is.
No, Momoa should have been playing Steve though. That's the thing.
Oh, that'd be great.
Sorry?
That would have been great.
Yeah, like they should have chopped his hair, given him the cut, trimmed his beard, made him look presentable. Actually, not like what he looks like in the trailer, and he should have been playing Steve. Like that would have been, and it could have been him saving the realm or some shit. I don't know. It could have been something better, but what we got looks like a mess. I don't think I've seen anything in the past 20 years where like the people are so poorly blended to the CG background.
Oh yeah, the green screen was terrible. Oh yeah.
And it was to a point where I was like, hold on, is there any physical set? And then I do remember there was like leaks of like, the trees and stuff like that. So like there is physical set, but I was like, fucking, I can't see where, man. Like it all
Not in this trailer,
looks
yeah.
really bad. I didn't know like there was going to be more cast than just Jack Black and Jason Momoa. So seeing those people was surprising. Like I don't have issues with the stuff they presented in terms of like people like, oh, he's not even got a real crafting recipe. Like I don't give a shit about that. But like I don't know. I just think like there was. I think that there was errors spelled everywhere all over this trailer. And just from a filmmaking standpoint and just from a product making standpoint. I think the world's starting to get sick of Jack Black in the way that they got sick of Dwayne Johnson. Because I think you're starting to see a lot of. I think it probably started a lot with the whole breaking up of Tenacious D, and then now with Borderlands, and then now with this, I think people are a bit over Jack Black. So this movie might just be coming out a year too late to kind of cash in on his name,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think I've seen a lot of people like the thing is a lot of people are complaining this should have always been an animated thing, but like we've always known it's going to be live action. So like like yeah, you can say animated would be better, sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we've always known it was going to be a live action movie.
Yeah.
It's just that the world doesn't even look like Minecraft. Like all the long shots just don't. It like I don't know.
I actually didn't mind that aspect of it. Like it was clearly a different aesthetic to the game, slightly. Like it was adapted, but
Yeah.
I thought like just the pure like I know they did that gag with the animal or like the goat or whatever. Like just that shot alone, like if you'd shown me that and it said this is a Minecraft animated movie, I'd be like, okay, like that. Like it's clearly a different take on it, but it was still it still felt Minecraft enough to me. But then when you start getting the real people in there, that's weird.
Like that wasn't really. I like the blocks just the blocks didn't look right. Like and like the thing is, I don't expect it to look like the game because the game looks awful. But like it's something from 2011, and that's why everyone plays the game with shaders, and shaders make the game look beautiful. So I was never expecting something to look like the original game. I was expecting something that looks like shaders, but it doesn't. It still just doesn't look like Minecraft to me. Like the trees do, yeah, but the world doesn't. I don't know. There's a way that the world just doesn't look right. It just looks like a slightly pixelized, blockified kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. But like, sorry, just back on the Jack Black thing for a second. Like, the weird thing about him is that I feel like we haven't been overly saturated in Jack Black. I know Borderlands and stuff, but he had a bit of a break. Jumanji, yeah, I know, but you know what I mean? I feel like his peak was really sort of late 2000s ish in terms of being in shit and throughout, and then sort of later in the 2010s, and like I know there's definitely exceptions, but overall, I feel like his output was lessened. So I feel like they really shouldn't be a.
It's the fact that he broke up Tenacious D over this movie.
I don't know what Tenacious D is.
Tenacious D was his long-time running band with his good mate. What's his name, Alex? Lim?
Kyle Gass?
Kyle, yes. He broke it up because Kyle made a joke about Trump getting shot. So and then Jack didn't like that because he knew that it's going to lose him brand deals and movies. So he was like, "No, I'm disgusted by you," even though they've made far worse jokes in their career because they're a comedic band. So people are pissed off with that aspect of like Black essentially just being a sellout at this point. For these corporate movies and turning his back on a 20-year partnership. So in combined with the failure of Borderlands, and then and now with what seems like this, and then I'm sure there's some other stuff going on. I'm sure he's been in other stuff as well.
Yeah, no. Like I know he was in Mando and all this, and it's like, and
Yeah.
you know, Kung Fu Panda stuck around, so it's like okay, but I don't know. Like I guess all I'm saying, I didn't know anything about that band stuff, and when I saw Jack Black, I still groaned. You know, and I don't know what it is. Like, mate, I think part of it's that beard. I don't know. It's kind of like I feel like it's just so low effort at this point. Like it's almost like it's that combination. It's like that the fact he has that really ugly long beard. It's almost like the physical manifestation of the fact that I feel like he's just really low effort in everything at this point, and just keeps turning up. It's like, dude, can you at least like I don't know, put something in? It feels like he just turned up to set with like a dirty shirt on. It's like, all right, what are we shooting today? You know, that's the whole vibe of it. That's how it's felt for a little while. So
Yeah. I feel like this movie can't come out soon enough just so they can, like, I don't know, escape the wave of kind of annoyance that's going to come in the next 6-7 months or whatever it is till it releases.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think it's only really going to get worse in terms of like feeling like from the audience.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's fair. But the whole thing, it is just Jumanji, right? Like
it looks like it might be. Yeah,
that's sort of the other. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking myself out of. This is worse than I sort of thought, I guess. It literally just there was nothing in that trailer indicated to me this movie's plot is anything different to Jumanji, like the new ones, and like that's. I don't know. That's not really good enough, in my opinion, especially since Jack Black's in both of them.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely getting transported to this video game world, but like what they have to do to get out of it is, I don't know, is going to be like that's probably going to be quite a difference.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. If those Jumanji, I've got, I don't hate those movies at all. I think they're fine, but like if they end up being like just a way better version of this, then it's like that's not really good enough.
What have we been watching? Finny, watching anything this week? Break the streak?
Yeah, I checked out. Poor choice of words. I've been watching The Gentleman for like months, and I finished it this week. The new guy, it's not. I'm as usual. I'm 6 months behind on these things. The Netflix show that came out earlier this year, and it was enjoyable, for sure. It wasn't really great though. There's. I wouldn't necessarily not recommend it. Like I feel like I could recommend it to you, Jane, and feel like you'd like it. It's just on a pure narrative level, it's kind of fine. The story has episodes and moments of intrigue, and then it kind of just never really develops strongly. The feeling, the main reason I sort of slapped a 6 on it was at the end. It leaves you with this sense of like, okay, I guess. Like the goalposts just move too many times in the plot. Like I feel like when you have a show like this, sort of based around crime drama and that kind of thing, it needs to really feel like it builds, which the film does very well. And this show doesn't. This show kind of just changes what it's about a few times. It's like, oh, okay, all right, so we're trying to achieve this right now. Got it. We're doing this for a few episodes, and then it's like suddenly, it's sort of that's just sort of thrown out the window. It's like, oh, now we're trying to do this, and I'm like, oh, okay, what? Okay, and then like literally going into the last episode, it feels like you're trying to. Like we're on the cusp of some conflict here between the characters brewing. And it's like, oh, okay, here we go. Things are going to blow up now in the last episode. And then like the first 10 minutes of the last episode, they kind of just get rid of that. They kind of resolve it. And then like the whole episode becomes about something else. And it's like, oh, okay, all right. So it just kind of has this weird sense, lack of momentum as you're watching it, I guess, narratively.
It sounds exactly like the film. That's crazy.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't remember that about the film at all. I enjoyed it at the time, but maybe that could be the case. I do want to rewatch it, but so that's weird. I wasn't a big fan of that, but the actual, I don't know, moment to moment though, it has the Guy Ritchie swagger. It has some charming moments. The performances are probably the strongest aspect. I think Theo James is all charisma. I think he's fantastic. He's been fantastic in everything I've seen him in. His best performance I've seen him in is The White Lotus, but he was awesome in this as well.
He's great in that version.
Is he really?
I mean, like, it's fine, but like you're talking about these like kind of great performances. I was just chucking it.
Yeah, just a lot of Divergent. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed him in this. I enjoyed a lot of the characters, and it has that Guy Ritchie charm and humor that you're looking for. If you're looking for just a bit of a fix of that, then you can't really go wrong. But I can't overall say it's like a fantastic product, Um, so, and the other weird thing is just how, like, are you interested in watching it, Jaden, or do you know like how it's related to the franchise or
I
anything
had
like
it on
that?
my watch list for a while, but then I just thought like I'm not gonna like I don't want to tarnish my perception of Richie.
Oh,
um,
really? Okay, so have you heard bad things about it?
no, I haven't heard anything about it, but I just had a feeling that I wasn't gonna vibe with it. I don't know
Okay.
how I'm gonna work with like a long form like format with him.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
yeah. That
like
was yeah.
especially like given that like so much of my like I like his most recent stuff, but then like they're not really anything like they're so watered down compared to his early stuff. It's like I don't know how much I'm gonna like
Mm.
it when it's then stretched out over fucking 10 episodes, whatever it is.
That's yeah.
Um,
That's honestly a pretty accurate. Like it does feel like it's Guy Ritchie, but it's like modern, watered down Guy Ritchie. You're not getting 8
yeah,
episodes of Lock Stock. No.
yeah. So that's what that's why I was like I don't know. I don't know. I might like because I love him and I'll kind of like want to have like a completionist record of him. I
Mm,
probably will get into it one day,
mm,
but like yeah, there was just no drive to watch it at the moment because I just
sure.
scared about what it's gonna make me feel about it.
Yeah, that's fair, dude. He makes so many movies these days. He makes like a movie a year or more at this point. So
Yeah, I feel like he's hitting like the Twilight kind of thing of like every 10 months.
it's getting close. I don't know. He needs to like calm down to make your completionist thing doable at this point.
I think I've seen pretty much everything apart from like his awful movie with Madonna.
Oh, okay, really? Okay. You haven't seen Aladdin?
Aladdin. Yeah, sorry, that's the other one.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, that wraps it up.
Mm. Lame? Anything?
I've been rewatching Peep Show. It's a funny show. But the main thing I want to talk about is I think I learned like yesterday, or 2 days ago maybe, that Jesse Armstrong wrote the show. So I didn't know that until I looked at like this like 20-year like reunion Q&A thing. But then it got me thinking of like the parallels between Peep Show and Succession, and it's like there's actually quite a bit there because there's like kind of morally blank, selfish kind of characters who are always kind of like scheming. They have their little schemes, and usually they kind of backfire or go nowhere because the system of trust that they've built up with the people around them is completely kind of demolished through their past behaviors, their kind of previous scenes where they lied and manipulated and just were deceitful. So it's really funny because it was completely kind of shocking to see him to see that he did both projects because they're just so different. I mean, the style of comedy where you have Peep Show is like classic, modern, like British classic. It's like modern, British humor that's very kind of traditional in a sense. And then Succession is like heavy drama with like very American kind of quippy comedy as well. So yeah, it's just cool seeing the range that Armstrong has, and I mean, kind of his comedic strength overall. Um, but yeah, Peep Show is great. Peep Show is probably my favorite comedy. I think I've rewatched it fully twice now. It's just a very funny show, and like the inner monologue that you get, which is quite unique. Like you don't really get the depth that you get from the inner monologue in other kind of comedy shows, if they're there like at all. It kind of it allows you to delve pretty deep into the characters, even though at times their actions are fully motivated by plot and convenience and humor. They're still like very fully fleshed out people um, because of that inner world that you see. So yeah, uh, good show. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
How much am I gonna like it?
I reckon you'd enjoy it. Maybe you'd enjoy the Mark stuff more than Jez. Mark and Jez are kind of the two main characters of the show, and like their humor is quite different. So you might vibe more with Mark and Jez, but I feel like overall you'd enjoy it. It's very the humor is very easy to get behind it. I feel like even if it is specific to the UK or whatever. I'd say that like the first season's pretty strong. So if you want to like hop into it, it's like 20-minute episodes. You could definitely just like trial it out and see if you like it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I might. Well, it sounds like Mark's my spirit animal, apparently, so that makes sense.
Yeah. You should watch it just to see what you think of that.
Yeah. That's probably the main thing.
I just saw that Jesse Armstrong also wrote The Thick of It. So, have you seen that, Liam?
Oh, no.
No? You love that shit then.
You love that shit, don't you?
Oh, dude. The Thick of It's like one of the best TV shows of all time.
This guy hasn't watched Succession yet. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was curious after that to see if like Armando Iannucci is involved in Succession, because I thought if Armstrong's in those, like Succession does have Iannucci kind of vibes. So I was surprised to see that he's not there.
I don't know who that is.
He also did Veep.
Oh, I want to watch Veep. Okay.
And he did The Death of Stalin. Have you seen that?
No, I want to watch that too. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. I get what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon you like Think of It because it's kind of Armstrong, Iannucci kind of things.
Yeah. That's cool.
I finished my X-Men rewatch of like the core series this week. I think I will continue. I'll watch Logan. I don't think I'm going to watch the other two Wolverines. And I might watch New Mutants. But I just kind of wanted to revisit these films because just I don't know. I love X-Men. I love heroes. I love shit like that. And I think I've kind of been low on them recently, but then rewatching this now has reminded me that no, I am a fucking nerd, and I do like Marvel, and I do like X-Men, and I do like comics, and I'm like, yeah,
nice.
Why am I not?
You are a shill. I knew it.
What? Not a shill, but what do you mean? I'm not a shill. I just like this shit, I think everything in the modern kind of X-Men is fantastic. I know a lot of people don't love Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, but I still think that they're really fun, like really great products. I will stand. I don't know if I've said. I think I have said on the show. I will stand by Dark Phoenix and Experiments from Dark Phoenix being Hans Zimmer's best work. Which I know a lot, like Inception, Stellar, Gladiator, whatever the fuck you want to say. I think Experiments from Dark Phoenix, given that they're cut and given that they're just kind of more like mood and like kind of experiments, are some of the best Zimmer we've got because it is just him allowed to play. So I'll always love Dark Phoenix for that as well. But then like it's a shame that for like half of them have been directed by like a terrible person, because like they are just such strong, like especially First Class and Days of Future Past for me. Like they are genuinely films that I think are very great and could be should be talked about more outside of just a superhero kind of context, because like I don't know, like what they do with like the kind of historical aspect and then like the kind of dual storylines that they talk about in Days of Future Past. Like I just think it is good filmmaking, good writing to kind of juggle the historical context and then rewrite it in this mutant way. Like I know they have a shit ton of source material to go off that they're adapting from, but like to adapt it then successfully for the screen, it is great. And I think like it's probably some of the best casting as well in terms of superhero stuff as well. McAvoy as a young Professor X and Fassbender as a young Magneto, especially in those first two before they got tired of the role, is phenomenal. And like I don't know, it is just such a joy because like I know a lot of people do like the earlier X-Men and to me and like do proclaim them to be some of the best superhero work, but to me they're kind of middling. But like to see X-Men so successfully adapted in these later ones to me is incredibly exciting. And yeah, it just kind of certified my love for them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you excited to? I mean, I think they're going to have one last hurrah in Secret Wars, and then they're going to.
Oh, you reckon?
They're going to reset. Oh yeah, I think so.
What, like which cast?
I think everyone and their mum's going to be in Secret Wars. Any Marvel character cameo you've ever thought about is going to be in it. Like Toby's going to come back. Oh yeah, Toby's going to come back. You're gonna have bloody Hugh's gonna be in it. You're gonna have all those dudes are gonna I would be shocked if Fassbender, McAvoy, or both, or maybe they'd just go with. Oh no, they're gonna probably do some Ian McKellen talking to Fassbender kind of thing. Yeah, all that. They're gonna do all that shit. They're gonna blow their load, and then because then they're gonna reset it, and they're never gonna do it again.
I think the future of the X-Men is like very scary because you have this task of casting or recasting this entire thing, and like I think there is so many opportunities to get it right, but there's also so many opportunities to get it wrong. And the thing is, I think X-Men for its history has mostly been more right than wrong, but Marvel coming into it as like the kind of primary, Disney coming into it as like the primary, is more what worries me. But then, like, you look at one of the more recent products in New Mutants, and you're like, oh well, they casted really well for this as well. To be honest,
okay.
So I don't know. It's the I don't know if they do have their last hurrah in Secret Wars.
Yeah,
it'll be nice. But then the future of the universe is future of the X-Men is I don't know, interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna fully redo all that for sure. They're gonna cast everyone again.
Yeah, I think the dude, there's so much they can do right and wrong. I don't know. That's a whole fucking episode on its own.
All right, what's one person they could get right and wrong for Magneto?
Right's a hard question. Wrong is pretty much everyone. Like honest to God, everyone.
Okay.
It's I hope that they're not scared to stick with some of the casting that already exists. Is the thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, yeah, would they stick with? Would they do? I mean, Fassbender can be an older Magneto. Why not? He can play Magneto.
The thing is, if they can get Fassbender interested into the role again, he will be the best choice.
Oh yeah.
It's just that he kind of felt bored of it. Like I think in Dark Phoenix, you do kind of feel his boredom. So that is the main issue with recasting him.
Yeah. You can't blame them though. There was so much
they can't just throw money at him. They actually have to give him something good to work with, I think.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if they're not scared to keep him, and if they give him something good, Fassbender's the best choice.
I think Kevin Feige can do it. I think if no for real. I think if I were him, I would have been really bored on that Fox set where those movies, like, I'm glad you liked them, but like a lot of people were over them, and then like they were delayed forever and all this sort of shit. I'd be just kind of like over it if I were him. But if he had the long break, if he can come back, they can reinvigorate him with a plan, and obviously a lot of money. I feel like he'd be interested.
Yeah. How do you this is actually a good question for you now that you're here. How do you transition like to the next segment?
We usually just pause for it's usually like apparent that the last segment is over.
Is it?
And then I'll just go like, yeah, it's just like there, right there. It would have been, and then it's like, all right, now it's time to hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, yeah.
I just didn't know, like, should I be like looking for like a smoother transition? Should I be waiting until like the conversation dies? I was like,
yeah, I think it did die.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like now, like I was gonna do it now, but I just wasn't sure how if that was like right.
Yeah, I usually just sort of like, I usually just go for it. I might like put a bit of a I don't do it consciously, but I'll just like put a bit of a transitionary word in there, like, okay, all right, here we go.
All right. Now it's time to hand the show to you with our question of the week. Last week we asked you, what is your favorite moon phase? Digging deep in the barrels for this one.
Man, it was all you.
Yeah, I love it. Zach wrote in, which is interesting. Why did Zach write in?
I need to remind everyone to run an answer, and they did. So I did a good job.
Okay. Well, Zach says, I don't think there's any argument for a crescent moon over a full moon. Which is interesting because it did spark the conversation where Spooky then did say a waxing crescent.
No, I'm not into that.
Yeah, and then Andy backed him up, saying that crescent would also be his moon phase, as it played a large part in his childhood because of this man, which is some Chinese judge from TV.
Yeah.
He's very famous for having a crescent moon on his forehead. His name is Justice Bao.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, everyone can go take a peek at him if you need.
I like Dr. Luke's image better with the DreamWorks.
Yeah, with the DreamWorks thing. Yeah, that is what I would have been thinking. With
That's less obscure. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah. Was there anything in the YouTube comments that I need to check? Or?
No, you're good. You got it.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about lunar phases? Where are you guys going?
Well, I'm appalled by the love for Crescent because Crescent's, I don't know, it's whatever. It's fine.
Something a bit magical about Crescent, you know.
Dude, does anyone ever look up at a crescent moon and go, oh, wow, guys, look, there's a crescent moon tonight? No, because who cares? You know what I mean? It's the full moon. It's the full moon. You're like, oh, is it a full moon tonight? Wow, that's awesome. Let's take a photo.
You don't say that either when you walk past like a beautiful like flower in someone's garden, you know. But you appreciate it momentarily, and then you walk past, and go about your day, and maybe subconsciously, your mind has like somewhat improved. You know, your mental state has improved, but you just don't realize it.
Okay, but the full moon would still improve it more because they're like, oh wow, it's bright, it's big.
Yeah,
I love a bright full moon.
Mm.
I saw one, I don't know, probably a few months ago, I remember. And it was like, it was like 11 o'clock at night, but it was really low. It was like, just sort of right, like almost like sort of where the sun would rise or some shit. And I was just like, dude, that is sick. I love that. You know, you can't go wrong with that.
So is that your answer, full moon? Just big strong?
Oh, yeah. Big, strong full moon, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, unfortunately. You know, a full moon is, like, for practical purposes, it's the best for the old telescope as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. There's just something about seeing the full picture at night, I guess. Also, like, seeing the full moon in the day is pretty cool as well, you know?
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
You're just not thinking about it. You look up, there's the moon.
Yeah. Every time I see the moon in the daytime, I'm kind of like reminded that that's possible, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's illegal.
Yeah. Like, it's a basic fact of the universe, but I'm always still kind of like, wow, why can't that's wild. You can see the moon in the day.
Yeah,
that's
those children's books, they lied to you, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The moon doesn't come out at night.
I'm now just looking at the phases of the moon, and I'm not a big crescent guy, but just now seeing the other ones, like first and third quarter, where the moon's just split in half. They're terrible. Like, who wants that? That's way worse than a crescent, actually.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
I don't think I've ever actually seen that though, right? When have I ever seen like a half moon?
Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have I actually? I don't know.
I just can't.
No, I feel maybe not.
I never really noticed them. If they're real.
I mean, surely, like, given that it's an actual like phase, like, surely you'd have to have seen it, right?
I guess, but
yeah,
I'm just later looking at it. Exactly. It looks like that's not real.
Yeah.
It looks like it should just be. It looks like they should just progress. Like they slowly get more and more whole, but there's always that sort of shape in it, that circular sort of outline. You know?
Yeah, the fact that it's just
why is it just a line? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I
hate to be boring, but like I do agree with the full moon. But I love it when it's yellow. So I like it when it's like lower to the horizon and it's like reflecting further. I think it is when it's yellow. And like it's massive. You know, it's massive on the horizon. It's hovering over the industrial sector of Multjalong, and it's just big and yellow. And you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, gets you going. That and red moons. You know, red moons are a bit more rarer, but I feel like, you know, there is a bit of like a reddish tint to the full moons sometimes. You know.
Okay.
Hold on, how do this? All right, so next week, for next week's show, we're asking you. Hold on. Surely I do poll first, right?
No.
Wait, what would I do?
As always, we'd love you to submit your responses.
Yeah.
This week we're asking you.
As always, we'd love you to submit your responses, answers questions. You know, join the Discord, do all the engagement shit. Next week to kind of get you going, we're asking you, what is your favorite Bond song? This is anything over the past 50 years of Bond that you can pick from. You know, no Craig exclusives. exclusivities.
Yeah, I probably will though.
Right. We got a poll to announce this week, though. Who wants to go first? Defending champion, or do you want to force your?
Well, Doug's
challenge?
got two choices, so I feel like if I pick first, he'll manipulate the poll. So
Yeah.
Zach should go
No,
first.
no, I committed to mine. I'm happy to go first.
You've committed.
No, I am selecting now. I feel like I don't know with these choices. I feel like I'm just perpetually now going to get like collective moan from you guys, or like just kind of mild like dissatisfaction from you guys. But I don't care. You know, I'm doing it for the audience. I'm doing it for the engagement. I'm doing it for what I want to watch, and I am nominating Ridley Scott's American Gangster.
Yeah, I don't really think that is an audience engager.
No, it is. Trust me.
Is it?
Haven't you already picked that one? I feel like you've already picked that one. Once
I don't
again.
think so. Possibly. I don't
Like
think
a
so.
very early pick.
Maybe. I could be wrong.
Mm.
It's not as obvious as Prisoners. Nowhere near as obvious as Prisoners.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'd grown at it because it's a fucking 2 hour 40-minute fucking Ridley Scott joint. But
yeah. See, there's always something to groan about in my choices, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam, what do you have to rival that?
Oh shit, is this one? Yes, it is. Full Metal Jacket is my.
Yes, this is a good poll, guys. Yes. See, Jaden doesn't like it for no reason, but it's great. It's a good poll.
I love Full Metal Jacket, but it's a bit obvious from Liam.
Oh, mate.
Is it
I don't like
obvious?
this.
Yeah, it is a bit
I don't
obvious,
like-
yes, but
No. I'm not about that. It's a good poll. I'm happy with that poll.
I mean, it's just a film I want to rewatch because
This is the guy that gave us fucking Scooby Doo Zombie Island, and he's
those
shilling to
days are
Kubrick,
over.
and now he's shilling to Kubrick, man.
Yeah, I have to win it back though. I have to get the momentum.
Yeah,
going
right.
again.
This is like the secure your position, and then you can go freaky.
Oh no.
No. Next week we are watching Doctor No. Oh, do you or does Liam say that? Because I do, or do I?
Yeah, you do just ask.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna ask you where we watched that, but I thought, yeah, sorry. Liam, what are we watching next week?
Well, as it happens, we're watching Doctor No, first Bond film, Sean Connery. Yeah, I think we're like non-committal, right, on what Bond films we're doing.
Yeah,
moving
correct.
forward.
We decided this like 3 months ago now, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's on Stan. I think that's the only spot in Australia that it's on at the moment. But yeah, it might be
Paramount
like.
Plus, I think maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But in terms of what most people have, yeah, Stan.
Yeah, in terms of service people actually use. Yeah. Righto. Thanks for joining me on this broken up episode of Cinema Effect.
I'm still really hoping the camera shoots in.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
really
like
hoping
it's got to be.
Yeah.
Thanks to Finney from Perth, thanks to Liam from Melbourne, me and my usual spot.
Yeah, we're all over the place. Yeah, we're all over the map. It's fun.
Yeah, thanks and goodbye.